To everyone else, this is a desk. But to you, it's a launch pad. Your starting block. This ain't a desk. This is opportunity.
Students who switch and save can get the Moto G 5G on us at your local Boost retailer.
The Boost mobile network includes roaming coverage from partner networks, which cover 99% of the U.S. population. Moto G 5G on us when you switch with ID verification and new $60 plan activation. Taxes extra. All prices, fees, features, functionality, and other offers are subject to change without notice. See participating dealers for details.
On today's Smart 7, Ukraine makes gains in Russia, Olympics wrap up in Paris, and lots more. It's Monday, 12th of August. It's World Elephant Day, and happy birthday, Cara Delevingne.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Ukraine caught the world off guard last week with a cross-border attack into Russia's southwestern Kursk region. It's thought to be Kyiv's largest attack on Russian soil since the invasion began in 2022. By the weekend, Russia declared a federal-level emergency in the region, while the UN Nuclear Agency issued a warning as fighting approached the Kursk nuclear power plant. On Sunday, Ukrainian President Zelensky acknowledged the incursion and said he was proud of his troops' efforts.
I thank every unit of our defense forces that makes this happen. Ukraine is proving that it really knows how to restore justice and guarantees exactly the kind of pressure that is needed. Pressure on the aggressor. Russia has been moving troops to the area and has begun to push back Ukrainian forces, but it's still not clear what the Ukrainian side are hoping to gain. On Sunday evening, a serious fire at the Russia-controlled Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant in Ukraine broke out. By early Monday morning, it had been extinguished. Both sides have blamed each other for starting it. US security and defense analyst Michael Clark says Ukraine will have taken Russia by surprise and can expect more retaliation.
They've launched an attack of complete astonishment, and the shock value is still working in Kyiv's favour. But undoubtedly, the Russians can't let this stand. So they will counterattack as strongly as they need to, and this battle will get a great deal more ferocious yet.
Thousands of anti-racism protesters marched across the UK this weekend in support of refugees and minority groups amid fears of further violence. Around 5,000 people gathered outside Reform UK's central London HQ, marching with Stand Up to Racism. Speaking at the demonstration, national organiser Samira Ali says Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has a lot to answer for.
We think that Nigel Farage is fanning the flames of racism, and his dangerous rhetoric about trying to place the blames in society on Muslims, migrants and refugees is actually what is giving confidence to the far right who are rioting through our streets. We think that Farage has to answer to this. The protests follow 2 weeks of unrest, which have led to almost 800 arrests and 350 people charged with violent disorder and hate crimes. It includes 2 men in West Yorkshire sentenced to 38 and 20 months for stirring up racial hatred on social media. There's concerns that the justice system can't cope, but Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds says there's plenty of capacity.
There is sufficient prison capacity. The early decisions the government had to make mean we can deal with this. So you've seen an incredibly swift and robust response. And then if we can make sure the recovery is handled just as well, we'll make sure we get through this very difficult period.
There was more tragic news out of Gaza this weekend after an Israeli airstrike on a school-turned-shelter left more than 80 dead and almost 50 injured in one of the deadliest attacks in the war so far. It follows a string of Israeli attacks on schools, with at least 21 targeted since July. The Israeli military admitted to the strike, claiming they were targeting a Hamas command centre in the school, something which Hamas denies. The attack happened before sunrise, while many were praying at a mosque inside the school and others were sleeping. In response, US Vice President Kamala Harris called for an urgent ceasefire.
Israel has a right to go after the terrorists that are Hamas, but they also have an important responsibility to avoid civilian casualties. We need to get the hostages out, we need a hostage deal, and we need a ceasefire.
Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance was doing the media rounds this weekend, trying to push back on the weirdo rhetoric which has followed him since Democratic VP pick Tim Walz labelled the Republican ticket weird last week. In a series of interviews, Vance accused the Democrats of schoolyard bullying and claimed Walz overstated his past military service. But US Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg argues no one can take Vance seriously given his running mate told 160 lies at a recent press conference.
I watched that interview and watched J.D. Vance present himself as suddenly very particular about precision in speech and very concerned about honesty. He's running with Donald Trump, somebody who has set records for lying in public life.
Still to come on the Smart 7, the sun sets on the Paris Olympics and the lively Reynolds household battles it out. Right after this.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
Welcome back. The 2024 Paris Olympics came to a close this weekend in dramatic fashion, with Team USA winning the final gold of the Games in the women's basketball to leapfrog China to the top of the medal standings. Team GB finished 7th, their lowest ranking since Athens 2004, but with their second highest medal tally ever. And Team Ireland made history with 4 Olympic champions and 7 total medals to come 19th, their best finish in almost a century. A breakthrough star was British heptathlete Katarina Johnson-Thompson, who finally won an Olympic medal on the 4th time of asking. Despite a poor start to the season, the former world champion says you've just got to give it a go.
I don't think anything is tall order in athletics. You know, you've got to give it a chance, and being able to have a chance at gold is just everything. And that's what I was really happy about, that I had that moment to try.
The Lively Reynolds household have been battling it out for box office domination this weekend after Blake Lively's newest movie, It All Ends With Us, based on the infamous Colleen Hoover novel, was released on Friday. Meanwhile, Deadpool and Wolverine, which stars Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson, surpassed $1 billion at the global box office on Saturday. And Ryan had a hilarious message to share with his wife when she was interviewed on Capital Radio just 2 weeks after him this weekend.
I miss you, the kids miss you.
Seriously, he's been at my house crying non-stop.
And
I
what?
can't kiss him anymore. I can't pretend to be you anymore.
Oh my, I feel like I need that. You guys gotta airdrop that to me. He was saying I can't kiss him anymore. That really was the headline for me. That one has a real aftertaste.
It was a magical weekend for Disney fans as the D23 Expo kicked off in Anaheim, packed full of new announcements and surprises. Amongst them were plans for 2 new theme park lands dedicated to Villains and Monsters Inc., 4 new cruise ships, and the induction of several celebrities into their Hall of Fame, including Angela Bassett, Harrison Ford and Miley Cyrus. They also confirmed sequels for Toy Story, The Incredibles, Frozen and Zootopia, along with a bunch of new live-action films. Oh, and they released a new trailer for Moana 2, which hits cinemas in November.
Hidden in a terrible storm. It's an ancient island. Setting foot on its sands would break the curse.
I know what I have to do. Moe, I could really use your help.
Can I get a chee-hoo?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Hey, it's Danny Pellegrino from Everything Iconic. Ready to upgrade your style game without blowing your budget? Check out Quince. They've got all the good stuff, shirts and polos, activewear, and fine leather goods, all at 50 to 80% less than other high-end brands. And the best part? They're all about safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing. Get that luxury vibe without the luxury price tag. Hit up quince.com/upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's quince.com/upgrade.